Test, test, 1, 2, test. I do apologize, the video here is really garbage. I'm going to try and cover this because of recent events. In case you can't see this too well, which you probably can't, have a number of money utilizing the game of life over here, the money from it, in order to demonstrate this simple concept. It's a little bit involved. So I'm over here, I'm starting off, these are $100,000 amounts. All the little yellow things that you really can't see too well. And there's 10 of them. You can feel free to do any of this with your own search game or go to your public library and do this as well. You have, starting off with 1 million. That is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 $100,000 amounts. A total of 1 million. I start off with that amount. And I separate it into those 10 amounts. And I go ahead and enter into an agreement with 10 parties. The agreement specifically states that over the course of the next 10 years, these 10 parties will pay me back $20,000 each and every year for the 10-year period. 10 of it will be applied to the original amount of the $100,000, also called principal, and 10,000 of it will be applied as a service fee, or interest as it might be called. So, year 1, I collect in $20,000 for each one of these 10 over here. That is $200,000. I take $100,000, put it into my pocket, an account called My Pocket. I take $100,000 of it and put that out there into an 11th such agreement. Same terms. 10 years, $20,000 each year. That $20,000 will be counted as 10 of it going towards the original and 10 of it going towards the fee of inflation. In year 2 here, the same thing. I collect now in $220,000. I put into the account called My Pocket $120,000, and I put a 12th agreement with a 12th party out there. I repeat this process in year 13. I have collected in $240,000 now. In my pocket account, I put $140,000, and I make a 13th agreement. In year 4 here, again, I'm collecting in $260,000, and I put into my pocket $100,000, but I take out of my pocket account that $40,000 from the previous year in order to make, now there's 2 such agreements in year 4. Year 5, I collect in $200,000 from the original 10, plus now I have 5 such agreements out there. That's $300,000. $100,000 goes into my pocket account, and I make 2 $100,000 agreements. Same terms of 10 years, $20,000 each year. 10 of it going to the original, 10 of it going as interest. Year 6, I collected in now $340,000. $140,000 I put into my pocket account. $200,000 I put out there as agreements. Year 7, I collected in $380,000 now. I take this $20,000 here, and then in order to make that $400,000, so I have $100,000 in my pocket account, and now I have 3 such agreements. Repeat that same process for year 8 here, and in year 9, now in year 10, this last year, these year 10 are finally paid off, according to the agreement. I've collected in $480,000. I take this $20,000 out of my pocket account to make 5 such agreements. I didn't place them here. They're actually right here, 5 agreements. Those are the amounts. Now, in year 10, you're going to claim in my pocket account, this line here, I have $1,060,000. What I have distributed out among these 24 such agreements now is this amount over here, which is $1,670,000. Now comes the issue. That's what I claim year 10 having. What I've actually collected in, let's look at that. I have the original 10, $100,000 amount, plus all their payments of interest. That's an additional $1 million. So I've collected in $2 million total on these 10. Now, on this one here, made in year 1, over here at year 10, I've collected in $90,000 of the original, and then $90,000 in the interest. That's $180,000. Here in year 2, I've collected in $80,000 of the original, and $80,000 of interest. Continuing on, that same pattern of 140 here, then over here, it's a total of 120 times for each one of these 2, and since there's 2 of them, that's 240. The total amount that I've collected in on the original of these here 19 in year 10, because I haven't actually collected anything yet from the 5 in year 10, the total I've collected of the original amounts, the principal amounts, is actually $730,000 towards the original amount over here, and then an additional $730,000 of interest. That actually totals up to be $3,460,000 I've collected in. This is the part we should be able to clearly identify that there's a problem. Because I'm claiming I only actually have claimed here in year 10 to have really enough assets to cover $2,730,000, not what I've collected in thus far. 3,460,000. You can feel free to go ahead and do this at home so that you can just lay the money out, do the exact same process, and see that it isn't actually sleight of hand. Because it's not sleight of hand, it's actually sleight of mind. And it's multiple of them, too, not just one. Now I'm going to start covering those. Sleight of mind 1 is actually this agreement right here in year 1. Putting this out here. This is not actually valid. It sure as heck appears though. If you've done this on your own, you'll see it looks 100% valid. But the simple fact is there's not actually $100,000 there. That's very confusing. But I'll cover that in detail in a little bit here. Because the actual truth of the matter is, half of this is actually interest, half of it is actually the principal collected off of these. Now, sleight of mind number 2 is actually these collection of payments here, off of these here agreements. Sleight of mind number 1 is repeated each and every year here for the 10-year period. Sleight of mind number 2 is collecting payments upon these. That is actually a collection of interest upon interest. These 10-year parties are getting doubly interest, triple interest, quadruple interest throughout the process, and as it continues on past year 10. Even though they've already paid it off too after year 10, it's still the same thing. It's still getting, they're still getting penalized on the interest. And I'll get back to that in a little more detail here in a moment. Sleight of mind number 3 is actually when I transfer out of my pocket account, as I did here in year 3, over here in year 6, and then over here in year 8. I transferred from year 3 to year 4 an amount to make this second one. I did it in year 6 to make this third loan in year 7, and I actually did it in year 10. I took $20,000 from year 8 to make the fifth loan. That's not actual real money. Sure as heck looks like it is though. That's sleight of mind number 4. Sleight of mind number 5. Where is the government in this? The government. Probably can't see that too well because this video is crappy. But this is a jar full of coins. Standard money coins. Now looking at this, initially, one might say, well, there is no government in this, or it's actually me regulating money amounts through these agreements. That's not exactly accurate. The fact is, all these parties here, and all these parties here, they're working to produce the money that is paid in payments and in interest. adds value to the governmental money, and the government is the one actually printing off this money, and they need to have it backed by something of value, which is the hard work of all these parties here, busting their backs to give the money value. From the position of the government, it's not nefarious whatsoever. They really have no idea about all these agreements. It looks like they are producing the 3,460,000 from the work of all these people, of all these parties. They aren't even aware, really, of what's going on. Sleight of mind number 5. These 10 here, these first 10, that original 1 million. Now, after 10 years, how much is over here in these first 10? Well, looking at this, it would be 0, because they would be paid off. So there should be 0 money over there. That's partially correct. There is 0. There's 0 and 10 years worth of hard work for each and every one of these 10 parties over here at year 10. There's 0 and 10 years worth of hard work. It contributes to the value of all this money in the amount of $2 million at year 10 over here. These first 4 at year 0, when they were originally given that $100,000, those were used to purchase a piece of property, for instance. These other 4, they were used to purchase the startup cost for a company. These last 2, they were used to purchase, for instance, an education or the cost of having a baby. Or whatever else. So what is the value of those actual items after 10 years under this whole here practice that I have been employing? The answer is it's worth 0 and 10 years worth of hard work with no actual money value to show for it. That is sleight of mind number 0. And that is a significant problem. Because that's going to happen to this party here in year 11, this one here in 12, this one here in year 13. And it's not as though those parties just cease to exist for whatever reason. The 4 companies might cease to exist, but the physical, tangible items, the education, the baby, even if it's something really frivolous, still exists. Right now, not only doesn't have any money, it also has less than that. Because it has no money to back it from the 10 years of hard work. That is explicitly because the price is going up. It appears as though, for instance, this piece of property would be worth $200,000 after 10 years, but it's not. This company would be worth $200,000 since it produced $200,000. This education would be worth $200,000. It's not. That's inflation. That's the prices of all the items going up. And that is why this one here, slide line number 0, and slide line number 1 here, is not actually valid. Because the moment that the interest is collected, it starts devaluing the dollar. It starts devaluing the monetary amount. Now, true, people work and they produce and add value to the dollar. And there actually is an amount that can be loaned out there underneath of that. But right now, that's not actually what's occurring. Not in this here example, and not in the real world. Now, we stopped at slide of line number 5. Because slide of line number 5 is where the government doesn't even really know it's being held hostage. Its monetary amounts are being deflated when it looks like they should be going up, up, and up. Slide of line number 6. I take a mere $2,000 here. Because over here in year 10, this party here from year 7 says, wait a minute, the $3,430,000 doesn't even match the $2,730,000 claimed. So I simply take mere $2,000 out of my pocket account, since I have over $1,060,000, and I pay somebody else to take this party here from year 7 to court in year 10. And they argue. That's ridiculous. This party here from year 7 has to pay the entire amount now in year 10. Because the agreement was really simple. It looked valid. They were presented with a monetary amount that looked entirely valid, didn't it? Then slide of line year 8. Another form of the government being held hostage. It appears as though this is 100% valid. When the fact is, there is no money to actually back the second and third agreements, and fourth and fifth, and as it goes on, it increases into the millions. And even into the billions. But there's actually no money to back That's slide of mine number 4. The claim that I have all this money to back these, but I don't actually have it. Because it's attached to slide of mine number 3 of transferring these money amounts that look entirely valid to create the second, third, fourth, fifth, and so on as the years go up. So slide of mine number 8 is a presentation in court that is upheld that it is valid. That is another holding the government at hostage. Now these are the base sleights of mines. There's additional sleights of mines that have been added in over time, such as a practice that's called default dumping, or after I hold the government hostage to uphold this third agreement from year 7 over here in year 10, and I collect immediately all the amounts due in year 7 under this agreement from year 7. I then go and transfer that to someone else who is employing this same practice someplace else. It looks valid on their end, it looks valid on my end, that I no longer have entered into an agreement that's in a defaulted status. And it doesn't even have to be in a defaulted status. Another slide of mine is, I just transfer, for instance, the second, third, or fourth here from year 9 to another party. And they pay me back the entire amount, validating it in this process. Now the issue becomes slide of mine number 9. Trying to hold accountable. In my pocket account, all I have here is $1,060,000. Looks like more than enough assets to cover any one of these agreements. Of these 24 agreements here, it looks like it's more than enough to cover the original 10. And multiples of these 24 agreements, but I don't actually have any money to cover all of them. Even with the claimed amounts that's still being out there, I still don't have enough to cover all of them. Because the amount that's supposed to be covered is the $3,470,000, or $60,000. $3,760,000 that's been collected in payments to cover the principal amounts and the interest amounts on all of these here agreements. All 29 of these original agreements. Even if I could somehow actually validate that I have this additional $1,670,000 out there, I don't really have that out there. All I really have is just 1,060,000. So it becomes quite a complicated issue about what are these here 29 parties, and then it continues on, and it just grows up into the millions and even into the billions. What about all them? The fact of the matter is, I don't even understand this. Because I've inflated this original 1 million. After 10 years, it's actually gone up to the $3,460,000. I'd be confused about, well, what about, that's already a disparity that I don't even have enough to match inflation that I caused. I don't have enough to match the increase in prices that I've been causing, because these practices that I'm employing, it's actually the practices that need to be done away with. Because after 10 years, these original 10 parties don't actually have anything. Sure as heck looks like they do, because they have the wherever they looked. But it's not actually worth anything. It's actually worth nothing, and an additional 10 years with nothing to show for it. But it's presented as though, well, they have the original item to show for it. There's no actual money of any actual value over here to show for it. To address about the disparity in between the $2,730,000 compared to the inflation rate that has caused the million to go up to $3,460,000. I'm suffering less under the inflation rate because I've changed my original 1 million into 2,730,000, whereas these 10 have changed the original 100,000 into a deficit of 200,000. They've gone down. I've gone up. But feel free not to believe me. Feel free to go ahead and lay this out for yourself. Do it in your own hands. See what it is. Feel free to go look up the numbers. The actual numbers. From the Department of Treasury, the U.S. Mint, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the U.S. Census Bureau, and many other agencies that have been tracking and reporting this. I know that there's other such programs out there that have been tracking and reporting this as well. In case you're wondering why nothing's been done about it, there's the severe complication about all these as it extends out past sphere 10, all of these here are parties. With all this stuff, it's now worth not only 0, but 0 and multiple years of what should be adding value, but it's not there. It's a severe complication, and we need to work on coming up with practices that those that have $1 million to start off with, or any other amount, and it's not just $1 million, it's resources. Those that have resources, a way for them to transfer the resources to those that need it, and still gain some benefit without it causing the inflation rate, without it causing the devaluing of items, causing the prices to go up to compensate, and leaving all these other people who have a need that needs to be met fulfilled, and still have the parties who have the resources gaining some benefit. Because current practices have already repeatedly failed. They are failing right now, and they're going to continue to fail even though people are still going on with it. And the fact is, doing some sort of armed conflict, because that's a common tactic that's been used, a common theme, I should say, that's been used throughout history, and it hasn't worked either. It's been only effective to delay the end failure. But there's no government that's been around the entire time. As a result of these practices, they've been continued to be employed. Thank you, and please have a nice day.